On this episode of In the Fight, a lieutenant leads his men through Southern Afghanistan one last time. Military forces from 9 different countries come together for RIMPAC 2012. The International Maritime Bureau looks at ways to make the seas safer for seafarers. We learn a little-known fact about an iconic spy plane. And we find out what it takes to become one of the best junior officers in the U.S. Army. He's led his men since pre-deployment training, but after a year with the company, he is being reassigned. Airman Jimmy Moreland joins the 1st Battalion 64th Armor as their lieutenant leads his brothers on one final foot patrol and files this report.
A mixed group of U.S. and Afghan soldiers head out into the sprawling farmland of Southern Afghanistan. They've started today's mission early to avoid the summer heat.
Today was a presence patrol to a nearby town in our area of operations, and what we're trying to do is have the A&A take the lead, be in the front, and we had them search a few of the compounds, talk to the local people, see if they saw anything interesting, and kind of just have the A&A face, and then our side just be security, and show that the A&A is still in the area and still providing security for the local people.
Traveling on foot through rough terrain in the Afghan summer is difficult work, even before you consider the idea of fighting enemy insurgents.
Each patrol is something new. The way each individual deals with it differently, but I know I have my soldiers there to back me up, and I know that if anything ever happened, they'd be the first ones there to pull security and pull me out. So I had all the faith in them and just wanted to do my job and get it done right.
Today's mission is completed without incident, but it's a significant one for Lieutenant Persons.
I knew that this was my last patrol with my men. I had the pleasure of serving a year with this platoon, so you have a bond with your soldiers. I definitely been extremely proud of them. They've done an outstanding job, and to know that I'm going to leave them in good hands with another lieutenant that is squared away, it made me feel good. And also made me feel good knowing that I finished my time here, I think made a little bit of difference in Afghanistan. I've been able to help children, different local leaders, and that's a good feeling.
Another successful mission under their belt, the men of 1st Platoon Bravo Company return to base, each man one patrol closer to home. Airman Jimmy Moreland, Southern Afghanistan.
The world's largest maritime exercise, known as RIMPAC, brings military forces from 9 different nations together in order to exchange knowledge and experience. As it wraps up, Marine Corporal Ben Eberly discovered what these troops took away from the exercise and brings us this story.
U.S. Marines and counterparts from 8 other countries continue to forge ahead, running toward the sound of chaos, all part of Exercise Rim of the Pacific 2012.
2786.
The multinational team took part in a fire support coordination exercise at Pohakalua training area on Hawaii's Big Island. The troops demonstrated multiple types of maneuvers, some in the air, others on the ground, but all from the sea. Launched from Mexican and American amphibious warships, these diverse combat capabilities blend together to shape a finely tuned air-ground task force.
It's pretty good exercise so far. It's good training. You get to train with other militaries around the world. Came over here on the Mexican ship, the Usamacenta, so it was pretty cool seeing how they work, how they operate compared to how we operate. We actually have an Australian guy here with us who's, they just got the 777 howitzer that we shoot, so he's learning about it, seeing how it works, so that he can take it back to Australia and train his guys on it. It's kind of fun training with other militaries like that.
More than 2,200 ground troops participated in this year's RIMPAC exercise. 9 nations came together as part of Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force 3, living and working side by side to enhance their joint interoperability.
We found out that we're basically the same train the same, go through the same hardship. I'm glad that we got the chance to have this experience. Appreciate every moment. Good bunch of blokes.
For Exercise Rim of the Pacific, I'm Corporal Ben Everly.
Soldiers with the 391st Engineer Battalion Headquarters Company take the explosives they work with very seriously. But as Army Specialist Mark O'Rear shows us, the sights and sounds can't help but bring the kid out in each and every one of them.
Good?
It's almost like a kid in a candy store. So the kid always goes for the biggest lollipop. Same concept, but just with explosives.
The 316th Mobility Augmentation Company gets lots of practice blowing stuff up. But for 6 soldiers with the 391st Headquarters Company out of Greenville, South Carolina, it's a chance to get familiar with some old friends. C4, detonators, and detonation cord.
We found out we can integrate them into this demo range today, and so I brought out six of my troops to get proficient at their skills so they don't lose it. Last time they've been on a demo range is AIT.
Out of an explosive. Remember this explosive?
I came out there and trained them on the knots and priming last night, get them up to speed on some of the terminology, and brought them here today, so we're hoping everything goes well and they get some good training out of it.
Specialist Roger Stone is a heavy equipment operator with the 391st Headquarters Company who's never worked with any kind of explosive, and he was a little nervous.
The real stressful part was when you had the M80 in your hand and you know, making sure you didn't mess up, because I didn't want to be that guy that had the M80 in the hand and didn't go off the first time and had to pull it the second time.
That guy. I don't want to be that guy anymore.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was actually, I don't know if there's a more awesomer word than awesome, but it was pretty cool.
From Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, I'm Specialist Mark O'Rear.
Hey, my name is Sergeant Hugh Farr. I'm with MWSS 271 out of MCAS Cherry Point, North Carolina. I just want to say hey to my friends and family and thank you for your support.
Hey, this is Major Rob Bajarski from the 316th ESC in beautiful Camp Arif John, Kuwait. Missing the bird, missing everything about the city of Pittsburgh. Want to send a shout out to my family and friends back in the Pittsburgh area. I miss you guys.
Hello, I'm Private Bert Kopp from Cumberland, Maine, serving in South Korea with 602nd ASB. I'd like to say hi to my family and friends in Cumberland, Maine. Take care, and I hope to see you soon.
I'm Specialist Kaylee Ramey here at Camp Phoenix with the 1186 MP Company. Just like to say hi to my family and friends back home, and I'll see you all soon.
Coming up, the International Maritime Bureau looks at ways to make the seas safer for seafarers. And air crews keep the B-52 in the air. Check out dvidshub.net for the latest accurate and reliable information as In the Fight continues. C4 is part of which family of explosives? The answer when we return.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
From combat-related stress to the day-to-day stressors of life.
This package is going to be completed.
This is the 4th time this week.
Stress can affect every Marine and Marine family. The De-Stress Line provides anonymous counseling for Marines and Marine families when it's needed most. If you're feeling the effects of stress, call today and let us help you win your personal battles.
C4 is part of which family of explosives? The answer is C, composition C. As long as the oceans have been used to transport commerce, piracy has existed. For centuries, pirates have adapted to changes in tactics and technology as they steal, kidnap, and murder on the high seas. NATO Channel correspondent Mike Mühlberger shows us what steps are being taken to make the ocean safer for seafarers around the globe.
The danger seafarers face from piracy is well publicized, but the victims remain invisible. 1,200 seafarers were held hostage by Somali pirates last year, yet their plight receives little attention. The International Maritime Bureau and the Oceans Beyond Piracy project want to change this. They have just released a new timely report, which for the first time focuses on the human cost of piracy.
There has been no information in a collated report on the treatment of the seafarers when they are held hostage. And that is what we are trying to achieve with this report on the human cost of piracy.
According to the report, 121 seafarers are currently in captivity and have been held for more than a year. 26 are still in captivity after more than 2 years.
The piece that's the most shocking is how many people died in 2011 because of piracy. It was 35 people that we have information on. It's possible that number is even larger because there's very little data that comes out about the seafarers that are still held hostage.
The number of hijackings in the Indian Ocean went down by 50% last year, partly due to the NATO, EU and US-led naval missions there. But the average period of captivity has increased by the same amount this year to more than 8 months. As pirates are getting more desperate, they're treating hostages worse.
In some situations, they'll see pirates fighting amongst each other. They'll see killings, they'll see beheadings, and then be told that this could happen to them if they don't get the ransom soon.
The report also highlights the lack of training for seafarers in how to deal with a hostage situation. Experts agree knowing what to expect and how to act should play a much larger role in the training of seafarers.
At the NATO Shipping Center, we also are working on or trying to focus upon the human aspects of being pirated. We are in close support of the IMB, the International Maritime Bureau, but also the NPHRP, the Maritime Piracy Humanitarian Response, that are trying to work out lessons, pre-education, training sessions for seafarers, and to make them understand how they can be better prepared mentally.
The authors of the report hope more information about how pirates operate will help protect seafarers rather than scare them. I'm Mike Mühlberger reporting for the NATO Channel from London.
In today's military, the service member must wear many hats. From warfighter to delegate, these men and women strive to improve the lives of others. Army Staff Sergeant Katie Gray brings us this story.
Soldiers have many different missions while in Afghanistan, from running patrols and security to training with their Afghan counterparts. Another one of their responsibilities is building relationships with the locals. Soldiers from the 426th Civil Affairs Battalion and other international security assistance forces visited the town of Marga to speak with elders and the local school's headmaster, with just such a goal in mind. Soldiers hope that building relationships will benefit the townspeople by connecting them to services provided by the government of Afghanistan.
You could really tell the disposition of these people and just how they treated us, actually jumping all over us, asking us questions, all smiles. It was really interesting. Like my team leader says, this place is a diamond in the rough.
Reporting from Spinboldak, I'm Army Staff Sergeant Katie Gray.
It's hard to believe that the B-52 has been in service since the 1950s. Otherwise known as the Stratofortress, this strategic bomber is the veteran of several wars, and it's the crew chiefs and maintenance crews working on the ground that ensure this historic aircraft will continue to stay in service for another 60 years. Air Force Sergeant David Clark files this report.
The secret to the B-52's 60-year reign is, in fact, no secret at all. It's the crew chiefs and the maintenance crews working on the ground that ensured this historic aircraft gets airborne and makes it back to the ground safely each and every day.
We're the jack of all trades, master of none. We go out there, we service the fuel, the liquid oxygen so that they can breathe at altitude, the hydro fluid. We're the first ones to touch it when it lands and the last ones to touch it when it takes off. So from the time it's on the ground and the time it takes off, there's always going to be crew chiefs out there working it. So the crew chiefs always, of course, have a sense of pride that they're the ones that make it happen.
6 decades, cars on the road right now, you'd be lucky to get your car to drive for 25 years. So you've got an aircraft that's out there 60 years old. And the only thing that I think keeps her airborne most days, 2 things. Dedication from our crew chiefs and dedication from the crews. People that train with this aircraft, they make sure that it flies, they keep the maintenance rolling, and just love and dedication to it.
It's the dedication of the crew chiefs and maintenance crews that will help keep the B-52 flying for many decades to come. Air Force Sergeant David Clark, Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada.
Imagine hundreds of military vehicles in need of repairs. Now factor in the thousands of parts associated with each vehicle. Pretty soon you end up with a logistical nightmare. Gail McCabe shows us how 3rd Army U.S. Army Central stays on top of it all in this story.
Captain Jonathan Daniels says as a logistician,
we get good statuses on the parts on order.
He's proud of what he does, that it's important.
There's really no better position to be as a logistician because you get to, it just encompasses everything. Let's go walk back to the 978.
A few years back, when he was an infantry officer in Iraq on combat patrols, he didn't have a clue how encompassing logistics can be.
And now it's really neat being on the opposite side of that and being able to provide that equipment to the warfighter.
Providing equipment, bringing it up to 1020 standards, is a critical mission at U.S. 3rd Army, Army Central Command. There are 800 maintenance bays here, 56 bays in a work center like this one. The work team is a mix of military, civilian, and contractor. They receive about 2,000 job orders a week. The work hours are 24/7. Daniel's job is to make the process seamless.
The challenge is just making sure that the entire process flows together.
Then it's on to the customer.
We get taskings to ship equipment throughout the whole world, actually. We really do provide great support to the warfighter, and we're truly at the tip of the spear when it comes to logistics. Average turnaround time.
He says the work is satisfying, much more than he would have thought. That being part of the supply chain, being a logistician, works.
5 days to get the parts on.
Gail McCabe, Kuwait.
Hi, this is Sergeant Suzanne Burrows with 1186 MPs at Camp Phoenix in Afghanistan. Just want to say hello to everybody back home, Mom, Dad, Greg, Charlie, Sarah, miss you guys, and I'll be home soon.
Hi, my name is Major Marvin Cortez from Seattle, currently stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, 1st Infantry Division. I'd like to say hello to my wife, Kayreen, son, Kobe, and daughter, Kayla.
My name is Specialist Doc Howard, here in Kabul, Afghanistan with 1186 MP Company. I give a shout out to Parsons family and all my friends and family in Corvallis, Oregon.
Hello, I'm Specialist Stephanie Dow from Calais, Maine, serving in Camp Humphreys, South Korea with the 602nd ASB. I'd like to give a warm shout out to all my family and friends back in Maine, especially in Calais. I love you guys and I hope to see you soon.
Coming up, we learn a little known fact about an iconic spy plane. And we'll showcase some of the best photos from our service members as In the Fight, presented by Divots, continues. What is the nickname for the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft? The answer when we return.
I want to give a shout out to my family and friends.
I want to send a shout out to my husband,
to my parents, my family back home.
I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend.
To my family and friends in Lansing, Michigan.
To my family out in Tucson, Arizona.
My beautiful wife and children in Des Moines, Iowa.
To everybody in Texas.
In York, Pennsylvania.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Chicago, Illinois.
Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Orlando, Florida. Oceanside, California.
And Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
I love you guys, I miss you, and I hope I'll see you soon.
Training is about more than muscle. It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best, a team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at gocoastguard.com.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
What is the nickname for the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft? The answer is B, Dragon Lady. Soldiers with Bravo Company, 1st of the 111th, have the unique distinction of having served in Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan all in 1 year. Airman Jimmy Moreland caught up with these Chinook pilots and files this report.
A CH-47 Chinook helicopter spins up at Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan. Today the crew will bring vital supplies to a remote base where road conditions seldom allow delivery by convoy.
The Chinook has a very diverse mission set, and as they say, you call, we haul. Whatever the mission is, she's capable of doing it.
Makes us feel good about our job. Taking people anything they need, getting them off of these roads where the IDs don't get them. You know, it's a lot safer in the air than it is traveling down these roads.
The past year has been something of a marathon for these soldiers. They've worked in every kind of environment Southwest Asia has to offer.
It's as hard here as it is anywhere in the world. It doesn't get any harder than the things we do here. We've executed some tremendously complex air assaults during the daytime and the nighttime into some very hostile and inhospitable terrain.
They left their homes a year ago, expecting to fly troops and supplies in Iraq and return home. After wrapping up Operation New Dawn, however, these soldiers were needed elsewhere. From Iraq, they pulled into Kuwait until orders came down for them to move into Afghanistan.
We were actually we were one of the last birds in Iraq, the last Chinook out of there.
This has been a very dynamic deployment with the 3 theaters, Iraq, Kuwait, and now Afghanistan. We were more than happy to do the mission wherever duty called, but at the same time we'll be ready to return to our homes and families.
Just weeks away from leaving Southwest Asia, these soldiers are ready to receive their replacements and return home for some well-earned rest. Airman Jimmy Moreland, Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan.
As tensions rose during the Cold War, the U.S. military needed a reconnaissance plane that could fly beyond any artillery, missile, or fighter plane known to man. Enter the U-2 spy plane. Airman First Class Andrew Buchanan tells us a little-known fact about this iconic plane in this report.
Mach Pogo, line 904, airborne.
In the age of high-tech computers and sophisticated hardware, you would probably expect one of the world's most recognizable pieces of military equipment to be on the cutting edge. Meet the Pogo crew. These airmen are responsible for installing, recovering, and maintaining the Pogos used on the U-2. They're a low-cost, low-tech solution to an important problem. The U-2, in the interest of saving weight, was built without winged landing gears. On an aircraft with a 105-foot wingspan, you can see the challenges this presents for pilots. The Pogo crews have the responsibility of ensuring the Pogos are where they need to be at the right time, and they certainly have their job cut out for them.
Like if there's any broken or bent springs, you gotta change those, or damaged heads right there, you have to change those, and you scrub it clean as you could possibly get it.
For over a half-century, the Dragon Lady has had the help of Pogo crews to begin and complete its missions, and they look forward to supporting the U-2 as long as it continues to fly. Airman Andrew Buchanan, reporting from Beale Air Force Base, California.
What does it take to become one of the best junior officers in the U.S. Army? Physical strength, endurance, marksmanship, and math skills may seem like enough, but as Army Staff Sergeant Jose Ibarra explains, it's not that simple.
Once you are in a good position, higher safety will call out a predetermined math problem.
What is 7 minus 3? 4, right? Easy enough. Now add some color coding in there.
Yellow, 7 minus 3.
Now throw some fatigue into the mix.
It's a very physically demanding adventure so far. Yesterday, PT test, obstacle course, we had 2 road marches, 1 in full kit, shooting. We had land nav last night that pretty much went the whole night, and here we are here on this field doing some stress shoot, which I can tell you might look easy sitting on the sidelines, but it was actually a real smoker.
The stress shoot is one of the tasks that is part of this year's junior officer competition, being held in Grafenwehr, Germany.
Blue, 4+2.
Kind of confusing, right?
The shooter, he needs to quickly, you know, do the math, 2+2, and this is after he's been going through the obstacle course for a little bit, so he's fatigued, he's tired, he's had a short amount of sleep since last night, right? So the simple math problem gets a little bit more complex, and he translates that real quick to a target downrange, so he needs to look downrange and engage as quickly as possible 2 rounds.
As an infantryman, I like to win. You know, that's something that we like to do all the time. We hate losing. Coming here and representing my regiment, I really want to come out on top so that we can hold out as the reigning champions 2 years in a row.
I'm Army Staff Sergeant Jose Ibarra, Grafenwehr, Germany.
DVIDS is a 24/7 operation that provides a timely, accurate, and reliable connection between the media and the military serving worldwide. Through a network of over 200 portable satellite transmitters around the globe and a distribution hub in Atlanta, Georgia, DVIDS gives you access to the front lines with live and archived broadcast video, still imagery, and print products. Visit our website at dvidshub.net and search through our enormous video and photo library. Register on our website to gain complete access to high-definition content, along with breaking news alerts and webcasts from top military officials. For questions or comments about In the Fight or DVIDS, you can email us at ondemand@dvidshub.net or follow us on Twitter and Facebook. As we close, we feature some of the best photos that DVIDS has to offer, as we listen to Eddie Horst's composition, Pangea. See you next time, In the Fight.